And I still enjoy swimming and golfing and biking, all sports.
Whoopee.
That too.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for any sports fan, or just looking to add some stuff to your own man cave? Then head on in to MVP Collectibles at the St. Augustine Outlets Mall. They carry Seminoles, Gators, Bulldogs, Canes, Longhorns, Bama, Buckeyes, Wolverines, Vols, you name it. They have Patriots, Jaguars, Titans, Dolphins, Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs, whoever you're looking for. Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, Braves, whoever you like. The best selection you'll ever find for the sports fan that thinks they have it all. That's MVP Collectibles in the St. Augustine Outlets Mall, Suite 245, right across from the food court in the St. Augustine Outlets Mall. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6. Get your man cave popping today at MVP Collectibles.
We are the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
Real men of genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Fantasy Football Manager Guy. Every year you assemble your closest friends to prepare for another season in the knockdown, drag-out world of make-believe football. You were born with the one skill every manager needs to play fantasy football. Absolutely no skill playing real football. Mr. Fantasy Football Manager.
Make sure to join the Armchair Quarterbacks right here. You want to win your league? Then listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. And don't be scared to tap that app. Find the Armchair Quarterbacks app today.
Fantasy football time.
Hey, this party's getting a little too quiet. I think it's time we liven it up with my favorite gift, Mr. Microphone.
Hey, what's that?
Well, you set the dial on your FM radio and testing.
I'm on the radio!
Over any FM car radio.
Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later.
I got one.
It's practical and great fun for the whole family.
This year, choose a yogurt that's right for you. With 2 grams of sugar per 5.3-ounce serving, Too Good Greek yogurt is too good to be true. So Delicious dairy-free yogurt and Silk yogurt alternatives are delicious plant-based swaps you can enjoy by the spoon or add to recipes. Oikos 000 yogurt and Light and Fit yogurt are tasty, non-fat yogurt options. So many flavors, varieties, and possibilities. Elevate any recipe and your everyday with yogurt. Shop at Target.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
What up, this Jay-Z.
This is Jennifer Lopez. Armchair.
That's right, I stepped up. She's my friend and she needed help. If I had to, I'd pee on any one of you.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
People always ask me, well, sometimes have a beer before I work out. And the reason is actually because of something pretty interesting my doctor told me, which is that I'm an alcoholic.
CBS Sports Radio. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Patriots star wide receiver Julian Edelman, who helped New England win 3 Super Bowl championships and was the MVP of Super Bowl 53, announced his retirement in a video posted on social media on Monday. The NFL Transaction Wire released Monday stated that Edelman had his contract terminated by the Patriots, but the roster move is expected to be a technicality as a part of his retirement. In a Twitter post that read, "Foxborough Forever," here's what Julian Edelman had to say.
Nothing in my career has ever come easy. And no surprise, this isn't going to be easy either. Now, I've always said, I'm going to go until the wheels come off. And they finally have fallen off. Due to an injury last year, I'll be making my official announcement of my retirement from football. It was a hard decision, but the right decision for me and my family. And I'm honored and so proud to be retiring a Patriot. There are a million people I have to thank. Mr. Kraft, the Kraft family. Learned so much from you guys on and off the field. Coach Belichick, giving me the opportunity. I always love you for that. My teammates, gone to war. We've lost some, we've won some. You guys will always be my brothers. To all my coaches that I played under, I appreciate all your insight, all your hard work, all your knowledge. The entire Patriots organization, from the meal ladies, the people that clean up after us, the people in the hallways, the training staff, the strength staff. We share so many awesome memories that I'll never forget. And of course, my family. You guys have always had my back. It's been the best 12 years of my life. It's a hell of a run. And I can't forget you, Patriot Nation. You guys have welcomed me and my family to a region we do not know. We didn't know. But now, I'm one of you. I'm gonna leave you guys with 2 words. Foxborough, forever.
There's a full slate of Major League Baseball today. Yankees and Blue Jays at 7:07. Tyon versus Ryu. The Rays host the Rangers. Ryan Yarbrough to the mound. And the Braves, 7:20 against the Marlins. Pablo Lopez versus Max Fried. Cubs and Brewers do battle at 7:40. It's Hendricks versus Woodruff. And at 7:45, the Washington Nationals are at St. Louis. Strasburg versus Flaherty. Philly and Mets are at 4:10, and they conclude their doubleheader at 7:10. Aaron Nola versus Marcus Stroman. Trevor Bauer is on the mound tonight at 10:10 Eastern. Dodgers host the Rockies in Senzatella. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for more of the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast. Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern sports talk. Good morning, Mr. Justin Waller. Good morning. I'm Mac McGee, and I don't know much, but I know one thing. Steven, come get your damn picture. I've had it since freaking Christmas. Come get the damn thing. God.
I gotta be back in the state to get it. I'm still in North Carolina.
Damn hippie. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterbacks this morning from the Kobe Bryant Memorial.
Attention.
This is Shaquille O'Neal, and then Michael Jordan you will hear on
Attention.
Kobe Bryant.
An amateur.
Today, I gained the day.
Attention. An amateur.
Now me, I was scared, but Lieutenant Dan, he was mad.
You call this a storm? Oh, you son of a...
After that, shrimping was easy.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Hey, howdy, hi, top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. I'm Mac McGee, sitting alongside Justin Waller, and we've got Stephen Trosh with us today. Stephen, how the hell are you?
I mean, Marlins won last night. Braves lost. I'm doing great. How about you guys?
It happens I was thinking about this every damn time the Braves play the Marlins and you're coming on the next day, the Braves lose. Now, we'll end up winning the rest of the games of the series like we always do, but you always win the night before you come on the show. It's unbelievable. It's uncanny.
The Marlins just know like how to start a day right and put me in a good mood.
And they know how to win one game a week as well. So, you know, there's that as well. So
I get to be happy once a week. Just let me have it.
Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn. Justin, how the hell are you?
It took 6 walks in the 8th for you to have that W. But yeah, who's counting? I mean, who's keeping up with things like that? I'm surprised it wasn't. Hell, I'm surprised it went to 10 innings because
Justin, your boy Nate Jones is not the answer. That's all I know.
I told you, man, that it's that release. It's doing more than
in the 8th inning guy. I know Chris Martin's injured. I get that, but that is not the guy you put in.
Well, Mentor went to bed as well. I mean, he can't come in and do what he does. You give up 6 walks and only give up 2 runs. 6 walks, a double, and you only gave up 2 runs, and it was a tie ball game. They were very fortunate that happened. Lucky, yes, because that should have been just absolutely a barn burner right there.
Mentor had a bad day. I can live with that. Nate Jones just doesn't belong in the back of that bullpen. And even with Martin injured, some guy by the name of Shane Green is still out there as a free agent. And oh, by the way, I did not know this, but you know, David Robertson is still out there as a free agent as well. So, yeah, that's Nate Jones is not the answer.
Sorry, I know that they are trying to experiment around and find some pieces. They've got some control or pieces down in the farm they don't want to bring up, and I know they're trying to fill out what they've got, but put yourself in a deep enough hole and you blow these silly games you have. Yeah,
Tukey. I mean, come on, what are we doing with Tukey? Good God, I burned a perfectly unbelievable start by Yanoa. Imagine getting that guy back in the bullpen once Soroka comes back. The team's going to be playing phenomenal. But it's one game, you know, but you can't flip out about one game. But I was pissed. And then I go to bed and my wife goes, "Did we win?" I was like, we don't talk about this. Well, I just cleared my mind to go to sleep. And I said, you know what? We don't talk about that. And Justin, do you know what she says right after that? Well, did we at least win yesterday? I was like, the play. Yes, we were. He was.
The good news is, did you see Jackson's arm? That was a bullet.
If he would throw more fastballs and less breaking balls.
Excuse me, I'm talking the catcher.
Yes,
Alex.
Yes.
Did you see the throw out?
Well, that's the whole reason why he stayed up. Everyone wanted it to be Contreras, but they want Contreras to develop as a hitter. And there's no damn reason to have him sit down on the bench and play essentially once a week, right? So, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no question about it. Alex Jackson's defense has been phenomenal since when he came over to Atlanta. At the time, they were still thinking about making him a pitcher or even an outfielder. And Atlanta told him to take the entire year off from worrying about anything except developing as a catcher. In other words, they told him, don't even worry about developing as a hitter. We want you to develop as a catcher. And that's what he did. And he's a phenomenal backup catcher. And he's not a terrible hitter. He's okay. He's not terrible. But we'll get into that in the bottom of the hour. We have got the mock draft, and I wanted to make sure that we saved the Dolphins pick for Mr. Stephen Trosh. Stephen, in the first round, we took with the number 6 pick overall. We got Jamar Chase out of LSU for you. And then where's the other pick? Oh, the 18th pick, Jalen Phillips. So where are you going with the Miami Dolphins on the, was this 36th pick overall, a pick acquired by Houston?
So, like as I saw the last few picks of running back, seemed like there was a little bit of running back run. I was hoping if one of the bigger backs would fall to me, but I am perfectly happy to take Kylan Hill here from Miami. They've already got a solid kind of pass catching back in Myles Gaskin. They still have Lynn Bowden on the roster, but Kylan Hill adds a different dimension to that offense. I love how he would fit there, and I'm kind of glad he fell there, honestly.
You said out of Miami, didn't he go to Mississippi State?
No, yeah, correct. Like I was saying, for Miami.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing a homer pick, like, want to make sure I get a hurricane in there, but I was like, Kylan Hill.
No, Brevin Jordan's still available, but not yet.
Gotcha. So Kylan Hill, Mississippi State running back, like the pick. It gives them, they probably need more of a bell cow more than anything else, but it does give them a good change of pace back. And Justin, the pick goes to you with the Philadelphia Eagles.
These things work a whole lot better if you take your mute off. I apologize. In the first round, we have the Eagles taking Sewell, offensive lineman out of Oregon. I think in the second round, they still need some offensive help. They need to get Hurts some weapons. And with the departure of Jackson, I think this is when, when you trade a player away from South Dakota State, why not go get another one? So I'm going to go a little bit deeper here and dig Cade Johnson, wide receiver out of South Dakota State, to be the pick for the Eagles. I like his size, good slot receiver. He's played for a championship caliber team in South Dakota State, put up great numbers there. He's a tough dude, and in that division and way that offense is set up, I think it's going to be wide open for him across the middle. So,
okay, South Dakota State, a bit of a reach. I don't even see him on my big board. What's his name again?
Cade Johnson.
Okay.
Hey, he should be. I mean, on NFL, he grades out at like the 6th or 7th wide receiver down.
Yeah, I find that interesting how different people's because I'm looking at the CBS one.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it won't load when it says see more, and I've only got like the top 20, 25 receivers, and they don't have anything below the top 20 receivers. So anyways, Cade Johnson, is that who you're saying? Cade?
Correct.
Okay.
C-A-D-E, Cade Johnson.
Thank you. That's what I need. No, normally they're sitting in front of me. I'm gonna have to pull up the NFLs here in a little bit too. Okay, so that kicks us to Steven, to the Cincinnati Bengals, and I want to make sure that Steven drafted a Bengal. That way, if Brian gets pissed off, then he can blame Steven. So, because I think I was the one that drafted the first Bengal, and I don't want to be No,
I believe I had those honors.
You did.
He should have liked my pick. If he didn't, then tough dude.
Anyways, in my head, I thought I'd picked him, and I was like, I don't want to be responsible for the entire Cincinnati Bengals draft, so I wanted to make sure Steven got the pick. So Steven, plus the next pick, I wanted to get back to you. It's a whole thing. But anyways, Steven, where are we going with the Cincinnati Bengals in the second round of the draft?
I mean, first off, I will say Devontae Smith was a very, very bold pick there, especially with all the offensive linemen on the board. But that is their biggest need right now. So I'm going to go Jackson Carman out of Clemson for them. He has the potential to be able to play both tackle spots, so kind of gives him some flexibility in terms of where he'll end up. And that's just, they need to keep Joe Burrow upright to have any kind of chance of competing.
Well, y'all are both wrong. That was a great pick by Smith at the first round.
Repeat your pick again. I couldn't tell. It was all mumbled together.
Jackson Carman from Clemson.
Okay.
Tackle.
All I got was Clemson. Gotcha. Okay. Jackson Carman, the offensive lineman from Clemson. Gotcha. So basically what you're looking at is to try to keep Joe Burrow's upright, right?
Basically to make sure what happened to Burrow last year doesn't happen again.
Right. And I like Justin's pick, but the conservative general manager probably will go offensive lineman with the Bengals pick because of what you just said. And there are a lot of receivers to be had.
They
But
did bring Riley Reef in the offseason. They brought in an offensive tackle. Now, granted, it's still not – they need more help. I get it, but I think that you have a generational talent of Smith right there. You just let Green go. Why not?
Oh, no. I don't hate the pick.
I think you could argue both of them because if Smith ends up being half of what he is in the SEC, if he's half of that in the NFL, then by all means – I think the big question with Smith is his size and durability, et cetera, et cetera.
I see what you're doing here, Steven. You got the 6th pick. That's why you didn't like the Cincinnati pick of Smith right there. You wanted him for the home team, huh?
Oh, no, I want Pitts for the Dolphins at that pick.
I don't think he's going to be available, but
neither do I, but what can hope?
That would be a good pick. If they're both there, do you lean more Chase or do you lean more Smith for the Dolphins? Not necessarily the big picture, but for the Miami Dolphins, who do the Miami Dolphins need more? Because Smith has that tie with Tua, but Chase is looked upon as the bigger talent just because he's a bigger guy.
I think Chase has the more bigger potential for superstardom.
Right.
But I would not hate Smith to the Dolphins one bit. That it's going to be really telling if both are there. If they truly go Chase, then they view him that much better than Smith.
The Titans are going to leak a marijuana smoking video that they will have altered by then, so he'll drop down to the 22nd pick in the first round.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
So he'll be a Texan in 3 years with 20 draft picks going to you guys.
We're gonna get him out there smoking the bowl with. Who was it that we stole the 7th round pick from y'all with? The Wilson.
Yeah.
Where? Oh, did anyone pick him up? By the way, because I haven't seen if they have.
I don't think so.
Man, he must be a dumpster fire for him to show up and get cut that quick, right? Mm-hmm. Then he must be a guy who just doesn't.
I must have missed this. The Pandas' football career's already ended in Miami.
Yeah, wow. They released him. Steven, what would you say? Like 2 weeks after the trade, maybe a little longer.
I would be surprised if it even lasted 2 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, it was quick. It was bam, bam. Might have been when you were out in Colorado, Justin, but I was like, good God. I mean, that did not last long at all.
Kid's got some talent. He's just got some off the field demons he's got to get addressed. Now, what specifically those demons are, you got to speculate on your own. They've kept it hush hush here in the Nashville area, but sounds like he's really got some issues in the closet. He's got to get worked out, or unfortunately, this kid's heading down a bad track.
Yeah, it's a shame when that kind of stuff happens because you see the talent there, but he almost looks like he might be like a freaking Jamarcus Russell type. Anyways, Justin, you've got the number 39th pick overall and the Carolina Panthers. So I wanted to make sure you had the Panthers. That's why I'm only doing one pick today. Who are you going with? Because I was curious to see a Panther fan where you would like to see them build.
This one's going to make you laugh, but I think this is a player that Rule can excel with. And unfortunately, this might be the first quarterback he's ever had to play with. But I'm going wide receiver. I am taking a homer pick for my side girl, and I'm going Josh Palmer, wide receiver out of Tennessee, 6'1", 210. Unfortunately, was hidden in the shadows of atrocious quarterback play and horrible play calling, and never really got to stretch it out. But he is a guy that can contest. He has touchdowns, multiples, if I'm not mistaken, against Patrick Surtain. So he's also beat DJ Daniel. So, I mean, he's gone up against the best quarterbacks that he could face in the SEC, and Daniel and Surtain, and delivered against both of them. So I think when you pair him up and with an NFL quarterback and an actual offensive coordinator, offensive mind like Rule, you can or Joe Brady for that matter, my bad. You ought to be able to open it up and get Palmer into the game. I love his size, and I think you can a little bit of a homer and a reach there. I'll give you on that one. But Josh Palmer, wide receiver, Tennessee.
All right. And let me see here.
I watched Kelvin Benjamin for years. You can like my pick.
I'm going to go ahead. So the Denver Broncos have the 40th pick overall, and we're going to leave it there once I make that pick because Sean's with us tomorrow, so was trying to save the Lions for him. So I'm going to go with the Broncos with Von Miller kind of, aging and whatnot, and that they need to get a pass rush on quarterbacks in that division. Good Lord, the quarterbacks that they're going to have in that division going forward. I'm going to go with Joseph Asai. I think that's how he pronounces his name. Asai, edge rusher out of Texas. So Joseph Asai, edge rusher out of Texas. I don't believe he's taken, and that's where I will leave it. That I'll double check it today, and if I end up finding out that my dumbass drafted someone who's already drafted, then I'll go back and change it tomorrow. We'll lead off with that. But we got to dive into fantasy baseball because we got a little time to do it. And Steven, your DFS today, what players are you looking at to stack up in DFS?
So the pitchers I'm looking at, we got really big slate today, 11 games. So we got 22 pitchers to choose from. I mean, at the top you have Bauer, Bieber, Giolito. I really I'd be fine playing all of them, but I really don't think it's necessary to spend up on pitching today. You have, one of my favorites and probably going to be the consensus favorite today is Brandon Woodruff against the Cubs. He's only at 7,500, but that strikeout upside is insane and is pretty unmatched at his price point. Another pitcher I like at that cheaper range is Max Fried. Marlins really can't hit anything. And like you said last night, it took 6 walks for the Marlins to come back. Man, so I love Fried today, 6,500. He is cheap.
Do you think that's just because he had such a bad outing last time? I mean, why is he that cheap? That's weird.
Yeah,
you've got guys who are less established, like for instance, Justin Sheffield is more expensive than Max Fried. That's weird. Ryan Yarbrough, who we all know will tend to only go 3 or 4 innings, is less expensive than Max Fried.
And another one, Luis Castillo's at 7,100. I mean, that's like for what he's capable of. I mean, he should be like a $9,000, $9,500 pitcher.
Yeah, because he gets the K's. He's going against that San Francisco offense, which isn't absolute trash, but at the same token, they don't put up a lot of runs typically against strikeout pitchers.
Oh yeah,
I find that very interesting. What about the batters today?
The first one, like right off the top of my head, is Alex Bregman, $5,000, facing Matt Boyd at home. He already kills lefties as is, one of the best in the game facing left-handed pitchers. And Matt Boyd is just a home run machine. He'll get his strikeouts, but just cannot keep the ball in the park. So I mean, I love most of Houston today. I mostly love Bregman and Yordan Alvarez there. Another interesting spot I'm looking at is the Dodgers. I mean, really, it's never a bad day to play the Dodgers, but they get I can never pronounce his name. Senzatella. Yeah, they get to face him at home today. I just you can never go wrong with that, and especially with the pitching, you can afford to spend up on hitting today.
I would be hard pressed not to pay the money for Acuna until he cools off. This guy is he is on fire. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, all you got to do is put the ball a little bit off the plate and he's going to swing and probably not be successful because he's not very patient as a hitter at this point in his career. Just when that guy becomes patient, it's going to be all over for the rest of the league. Because when he gets to the point where he actually spits on changeups out of the strike zone, it's going to be over. The kid is just unbelievable, and he flies down the line. You got to love the hustle. I don't know what his numbers are against Lopez. It is a righty, and Lopez is a pretty darn good pitcher. But
is a good pitcher, but he has notorious home road splits. He is, I guess, Cy Young caliber pitcher at home, but he is a Braves bullpen arm on the road.
Gotcha. Wait. Braves bullpen isn't total trash yet. I do think we need a closer. I still don't think Will Smith is a closer. I think he was a closer in San Francisco by default and had a spacious outfield to play with. And in Atlanta, he is a setup guy. And it was one of the worst moves of the offseason by the Atlanta Braves is not re-signing Melanson. For as little as Melanson signed for out in San Diego, it is ridiculous that Atlanta didn't bring him back. I guarantee it wouldn't have taken much to get him to come back. And even though Luke Jackson looked a little better last night with his fastball, you could have saved the money there, and you could have brought Melanson in for just a little bit more than what you paid for Jackson.
Oh yeah, no.
If you don't bring Tomlin back and Jackson back, you got the money for freaking Melanson, and you bring Tukey out of the minor league system, and you don't worry about who else we're going to put in there. Anyways,
I feel like we've been arguing bullpen for the past 5 years. Last year you finally got everybody picked up, and we made something work out of that roulette that came out of there. And then
that was by far the best bullpen the Braves have had in years.
Yeah.
That bullpen was actually better than the bullpens of the teams that went to the World Series all the time in the 90s. That was always the Braves' Achilles heel, was bullpen. Pickups this week. Steven, I know you got to jump off here really quick, so I'll just throw one out at you as far as probable pitchers today. I like Martin Perez. He's pitching pretty well, and if you're in a league, if it's not a DFS, right? If you're an all-year league, I'm looking at the fact that if you pick him up today, he should pitch Sunday. That's assuming the game is played and they don't cancel the game because of it being in Minnesota and whatnot. But I like Martin Perez as a pickup today. What say you?
I really wasn't looking too much into the streamers this week, but I did notice that Emmanuel Clays is available in about 55% of leagues. He seems to have secured the closer job out in Cleveland, and as we've seen already, bullpens are a hot mess. Get saves while you can get them, and he's like one of the better strikeout pitchers in terms of closers. He needs to be off waivers as soon as possible.
Justin, is there anyone that you got your eye on?
I mean, I went through and found some bats that I see out there that are under-owned, that are actually starting off hot. First one's going to be Naquin, leadoff hitter, outfielder for the Cincinnati Reds. Right now he is thumping. He's been moved into the leadoff spot. That usually means an extra bat per game. So if you're needing an outfielder, needing some pop, get it while it's hot. I don't know how long it'll last on that one. If you're needing some infield help and some versatility, Eduardo Escobar is out there in about 41% of Yahoo leagues. Just coming off, I think, a 4-game home run streak. I mean, he's ranked number 14 in Yahoo so far with 43 points. So it's out there. You've got some options for some bats. It's early in the season. It's plug and play. But, yeah, if you're in a tight race and you've got some questionable streams, you might want to look to add some pop to your lineup and try and salvage some points that way.
I don't think I really have I think I kind of said my piece yesterday as far as batters. So we'll just leave it at that. We might get into it more later in the week. Steven, what's your walk-off, sir?
Don't expect the Marlins to win the rest of the week. They got their win against the Braves. It's going to be a rocky, bumpy hill from here.
Well, why don't you just tell them to lie down? Just chill, man. We're trying to catch the Phillies over here.
Oh, it is what it is. Marlins.
Just get them a reservation at the club tonight. They're in Atlanta. They know where to go.
That's assuming they can actually hit themselves out of a paper bag.
We will send you Nate Jones and Inciarte, as long as you take on his contract, for a Jazz Chisholm right now. No questions asked.
And I will give you Lewis Brinson for Acuna, and about and you have to give us $50 million.
Lewis Brinson's one of the hottest prospects in baseball, man. Can't wait to see him play. That guy is like, in a bad way, he's Byron Buxton 2.0. It's like, when the hell is that guy's going to get his act together? Is he even with the big team?
Yes, he is. He's in a bench role right now. But I mean, personally, I hope he gets it together. Like he was at the same high school I was my senior year, so it's kind of cool to see him go from a little 14-year-old to the bigs.
Right, but a guy in that situation, I think he would benefit more getting it daily at bats down on the farm. It'll be interesting to see if they keep him there once minor league baseball starts up, which is pretty quick. All right, brother. Well, we will see you next week, and let me know when you're in this area so I can get the pick to you that I've been holding on to for 4 months.
All right, sounds good. I'll be back on Saturday.
All right, brother. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk some baseball, American League East and National League East. We'll be back in a flash on the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Hey, T-Bone.
No T-Bone.
No T-Bone.
Hey, it's not T-Bone!
No, there's no T-Bone.
Why no T-Bone?
Why no T-Bone?
You've either got or you haven't got style.
Sports Talk Radio. You either got or you haven't got style. Tune in weekdays here on the Armchair Quarterbacks, CBS Sports Radio.
So why is this uptick in crime happening? Well, let's think about it.
That's a joke, boy. You missed it. Went right past you. You gotta keep on your toes.
Armchair Quarterbacks Radio covers the whole SEC the whole season long.
Chris Davis is going to drop back into the end zone in single safety. So I guess if this thing comes up short, he can field it and run it out. All right, here we go. 56-yarder. Does not have the leg. And Chris Davis takes it in the back of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl.
Armchair.
SEC! SEC!
Good afternoon. Would you like to try a free sample of our double fudge brownie?
Oh, sure. That's very good. I'll just take one more, just to be sure. Yep, still very good.
Some things never change, like never being able to take just one free sample. And Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
Is that macadamia nut I taste? You take one more.
Sir.
Yeah, I thought so.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Canada has the greatest fence ever built. America. It is foolproof if you can afford it. Really easy to be the cool, open-minded hippie country when there's a Kevlar Snuggie of America draped around your fat, frozen asses, daring the world to talk. We don't use our military. We know. We got you taken care of. Go back to bed. We'll wake you when the NHL playoffs start.
Good morning. Welcome back here to the Armchair Quarterbacks. YouTube Live, CBS Sports Radio. Justin, I noticed that Tosh .0 is no longer on Comedy Central. I think he's going to some other platform. But I wonder if, because, you know, Comedy Central is extremely lefty, right? I wonder if he eventually got cancel cultured. If all of his, I mean, I find him hilarious, but I wonder if all of his humor got him cancel cultured from the higher ups.
I couldn't see why.
I couldn't understand how he continued to stay on that channel for years, because some of the stuff he would do, and I was like, you know, even for me, that's too dark of humor. I was like, God bless.
Yeah. Hey, you have your Skin in the Game app, or are you ready for it? I've got a line moving, and before we forget today, I want to make sure we get that locked in. I've got one that it's moving quite a bit.
Let me pull mine up.
I'll talk about it a little bit while you got it, but I just see it today. Boston. Anybody that's not to, we're about to break in the AL East. It'll segue into that. Boston's leading the AL East right now, and actually looking pretty good. You realize their last 6 games since April the 5th, which was a Monday, they lost to the Orioles on Sunday the 4th. They have scored no less than 6 runs in all 6 games they have played since then. Absolutely tearing it up offensively. But I mean, that's you don't see that very often, that you put together those runs. And I mean, it was against Tampa Bay. Now, granted, they just finished, I think, a 4-game with the Orioles, but they had 2 games on the front end of that 6 against the Tampa Bay Rays. So nothing to laugh at there. Pretty good. But right now, you've got Perez versus Happ. Boston traveling to Minnesota. They are familiar with Happ. They have seen Happ multiple times. I like Boston going on the road in Minneapolis. They're plus 125. It's gone from 135 to 125 in the last 5 minutes, so it's moving on my end. I just wanted to bring it up and get it locked in before it's even money.
What is your spread on Boston and Minnesota?
I'm showing plus 125 money line right now for Boston. It's dropped from a plus 134.
That's weird. Mine's much higher.
I will take yours then. Let me have it. What do you show, sir?
I'm very confused by what they've done to this site.
Now, on this site, I do have locked in my, it has my book where we have the legalized gambling. So it is actually pulling in ours from the MGM site.
What site are you on?
Action.
Okay. Is that just action.com?
The Action Network, the app we've always used, or we used to use.
What's the website? Do you know?
I believe it's just action.com.
Nope, that's something else. That's thank God. Thank God it wasn't like something else. Like welcome to the act. It says welcome to the Action website. And it's some old guy holding a can of beans or something in a Kroger aisle. So I don't know what the hell that is. Anyways, I'll try to find it here in a second. Was the app called Action Sports?
It's just Action Network.
I feel like it has changed names or something because,
or it's still downloaded on my phone as that, and it just
right.
That's how it's identified on it.
Okay, here we go. Actionnetwork.com. There we go. Okay, so let me go off of that because I don't know what I was looking at. That the site that I used to go to all the time, I was looking at today. It wasn't doing this yesterday, as opposed to like a, you know, for instance, like a minus 300 money line. It had like points on it. It was like, you know, 0.32 and all this stuff, and it was really confusing to read it. So we'll get rid of that stupid thing forever. I gotta try to figure out how to navigate this thing.
And there's quite a few interesting games today. Really interesting. Minnesota coming off the schneid against Seattle Mariners. Mariners have been playing pretty good of late. I wonder if they can transition that over into Baltimore. But when you're playing, that's the old NFL West Coast, East Coast for a 3:00 game. I don't know, but I'm curious to watch and see if our baseball or football theory translates over into baseball. So I will be watching that.
So you're taking plus 135 with the Red Sox, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know what I was looking at on that other side. It was weird. I got to go back over to a normal site to see what the pitching matchups are, because this Action one that pulls up, it doesn't show you the pitching matchups, which is really, really.
It must be the website then, because the app has it all. I mean, I'm showing
right.
Perez versus Happ in that game.
Yeah. And in fact, the site I was just talking about still had Eovaldi in there, but Eovaldi got pushed back because of the all the sports in Minnesota not being played yesterday. By the way, what game did you take yesterday? Because I could have swore
Reds.
Did they win? I didn't stay up that late.
They should have. They were up when I passed out last night. Yeah, it was 3-0 in the 8th. They won 3-0.
All right, sweet. Mine got canceled out because of the delay, so at least we're Okay, so
But I didn't stick with my Atlanta bet. I'm glad you let me change that there. Thank you, sir.
All right, let me look at the pitching matchups today because I have to go back and forth here. This is ridiculous. I got to find a way to. I'm sure there's somewhere on the site that actually shows you the pitching matchups. I mean,
you tell me. I can rip them off for you real quick. I've got them all in front of me. You actually got a good. That Oakland Arizona game is going to be interesting. You know, Luzardo versus Gallen. It's going to be interesting to watch tonight. Phillies Mets, you've got Anderson versus Walker, Padres, Pirates, Snell versus Cool. Ooh,
I'm going Braves minus 160. Give me Max Fried on the mound at home. Had a terrible outing last time. I'm gonna take the odds that he's not gonna pitch that poorly. And
yeah, I think he'll bounce back. Plus, you get Pablo Lopez, and the Braves have had good success against him. So, I like the matchup there. I think he'll get some run support and settle in. That 9 ERA is going to come down for Mr. Fried today.
Yeah, it better. If not only have we lost the bet, we've lost the game.
Because they lost the season if it stays at a 9 ERA. What are you talking about?
A wrap.
Hey, who wants to close out the bullpen? Max
We might have a closer now.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm not worried about him.
He'll be fine. The kid gets amped up, and when he gets amped up, he overthrows. And I'm sure it happens a lot. It's probably hard to calm him down, especially when you're a young man of that age, and you get into the game and you get to feeling it. So he'll learn how to control that. And as we've seen, once he gets it and he can calm his nerves, the kid's got elite stuff. Round in third and diving headfirst in the home plate, I approve.
By the way, I saw a nonsensical article by Dave O'Brien, who switched from the AGC to the Athletics, so now he's got to come up with stuff that's going to grab the headlines, kind of thing, right? He's talking about the options that the Braves could have if Christian Pache doesn't start hitting. I'm like, you let the kid play. Let him hit eighth and you let the kid play. Let him develop. It's the only way it's going to happen. You're over there flipping. He's over there flipping out. I've learned something about Dave O'Brien. He's kind of full of himself after following him for a while. He tries to become like the Twitter grammar police, which I find funny. I was like, dude, it's Twitter. You can't get on someone's grammar in Twitter. If you do, you're a douche. You're just 100% douche. But what is the answer? You're going to freaking put NCRJ out there? He couldn't hit water if he's falling out of a boat.
Hell, he couldn't bunt to save his life last night.
Right. No, you leave Pache where he's at. His defense alone is worth it. I don't give a damn if you were an idiot and drafted him on your fantasy team because you thought he was going to have some breakout offensive year.
You wouldn't have a second short or third baseman right now if you listen to these folks every time that a prospect has a slump or just doesn't take off at the plate like they feel he should, because we've seen Albee struggle. We've seen Swanson. We didn't think Swanson would be an MLB, but we thought we had another Anderson Simmons, and he didn't even have the glove or the range of Simmons at the point in time before his bat took off, when he seriously took some off-season workouts with Chipper and really changed his approach to hitting. We were really questioning what was going to happen with Dansby. And then Riley, his struggles are well noted, but you see that daily in the lineup, he's actually making contact, and he's going to bounce out of it fine. They have to have that daily plate appearance.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with Ozuna's plate struggles. I'm more concerned with that than I am with what Pache does, because Ozuna does not make up for it in the field, right? And so I don't know if Ozuna played as well as he did last year because he didn't have to worry about fielding, if that's got something to do with it. But Ozuna is not hitting the ball well, and he's whiffing.
How long before you pull him?
I don't think you can pull him, but I'm concerned about continuing to hit him as high as you do. You might almost have to, because you got to protect Freddie, or Freddie's going to go into a slump. So you almost wonder if you. It sounds crazy, but flip-flopping d'Arnaud and Ozuna, I wouldn't do it quite yet. But if this goes on for like another week or so, I would definitely think about it, because you just cannot have this.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost you got outs in between your superstars. You got to get Albies at a 2 spot, and you need to get Ozuna out of the 4, or they got to wake up, because if not, you can pitch around Acuna and Freeman. Now, granted, it's back to that, you're playing with fire. Do you really want to put 2 of them on? But right now, when I'd put Acuna on and I'd face Albies every day. There's no way I'm pitching. If I'm Lopez today, I'm not even starting the game throwing him. With the history of Acuna and the Marlins, just give the kid first base. But they're going to pitch to him. I hope he makes them pay. But I don't know why they do it when they have Albies sitting right there that they know they can attack.
Yeah, I don't know why Albies is not down further in the lineup versus right-handed pitching. If he's going to continue to hit left-handed, he's a much better. Like they showed the splits the other day. It was unbelievable. But he needs to come down. And I honestly think if you put Dansby Swanson up in the 2 hole during a right-handed batter, what's going to help Dansby overall is he's going to see better pitching on those days, which could help him just across the board. And it also helps you break it up a little bit down past Ozuna and d'Arnaud. If you got a left-handed bat down there to kind of break up that monotony as well. I don't understand it. When Dansby got injured a couple of seasons ago, late in the season, he was hitting phenomenal in the 2 spot. He came back and they've never put him back up there. And it's like they keep forcing Albies to be up there. And when Albies gets hit, it's great because you got the 2 speedsters and you got Freddie coming up, da-da-da-da-da. But when he's a left-handed batter, a lot of times I always feel like he's like doing this when he's left-handed swinging, and when he's right-handed swinging, like he's digging in.
I'd honestly rather just see him turn around and bat right-handed. I don't care who's pitching. I don't care if the ball's going away from you. Right now, I want to hit, and I want you to advance their runner. I want you to get on base to where you have to pitch to the MVP. And that's what I want to see, is Freeman getting up there with 1 or 2 on the base and let the big dog eat.
I think the argument against it has always been, well, he's lefty. He's so fast. He's closer to the bag. But if he's going to hit lefty, he almost feel like you got to put him in a place in the lineup where he can be a threat of a drag bunt.
Well, I mean, if he quit swinging a telephone pole as well. I mean, I feel like the lefty swing, you might need to step down on the bat size just a little bit because you're a little bit slower. Hey, the Billy Club works from the right-hand side of the plate. I don't want to change it. I mean, get a bigger bat if you want one. I don't care what you swing. But on the lefty, you need to back it down a little bit.
He needs a solid-off canoe so it's a lot shorter, but it's fatter, so you can just dink it. Because all he's got to do is get the ball in play, and his speed will do the rest. But
absolutely,
I don't know. It seemed like a lost cause.
I'm less worried about Ozuna, though. I mean, you could see last night he's making contact. He's fighting off. He had a couple of at-bats that he battled hard and extended. So he's seeing and making contact. We were probably still 2 or 3 days away, but I'd say by the end of this week, hopefully we've worked out Ozuna.
Boston Red Sox are leading the AL East.
Oh, yeah.
6-3. They've won 6 in a row after getting swept by the Orioles to start the season. You know, when in the preseason, I said I thought Boston would be a little better. I thought they would compete. I didn't think that their pitching was going to be nearly as bad as it was last year, and their starting pitching, I think, is a little underrated. I'm still not convinced that their bullpen is all that in a bag of potato chips, but when you're scoring the way they do, who cares, right? That would be a lot of fun if this can keep up, if you can get the Red Sox and you can get the Rays and you can get the Yankees fighting it out. Unbelievably, Toronto's down there at the bottom with Baltimore, but even still, the entire division is only separated by 2.5 games right now. How long can Boston keep this up?
As long as the rotation stays healthy, I mean, they can keep plugging along. Vasquez has been calling great games. I think he's been a big spark plug in that offense last year versus this year. Plus, he's adding stolen bases, and that's adding the extra tallies on the run. You know, they're playing small ball well. They're moving around the base pads. They're getting in scoring positions and driving guys in. So, when you're playing a complete game like that, it's fun to watch. And I mean, nobody can really knock you off your game. So, barring a setback or injury, if they stay healthy, I don't see why they can't. The big test is, like you said, once the Rays and the Yankees start seeing this club top to bottom multiple times throughout the year, what do they do to that bullpen that we think could be suspect when they've seen it 2 or 3 times and they've seen some familiarity, like, okay, last at bat, this guy came at me this way. And then once you have that, and they knock off the rust of seeing a former foe, that's where I think the concern for Boston could be. But, you know, maybe they're smarter than the Braves and they go out and get a Shane Green and maybe share something up. Who knows?
So the Boston Red Sox are tied atop the American League for runs scored at this point. And they've played one less game than the 2 teams that they're tied with, the Angels and the Astros. They would be leading all of baseball, but the Cincinnati Reds have lost their brain and have scored 69 runs so far in 10 games, which is just unbelievable. But this division, when you look at it top to bottom, I mean, Baltimore's even a little better. I still don't think Baltimore has the staying power because of when you look at Baltimore's pitching staff, they've got too many big-time question marks and Band-Aids there that I believe Baltimore is going to fall by the wayside. By the time we get to Memorial Day, Baltimore will be so far down in the American League, it won't even be a competition. But we could see a 4-team race going 4 wide into the corner coming into September. That would be great for baseball to have the cities of Boston, New York, and Toronto, well, Buffalo, New York, all fighting it out. Well, I guess Toronto's down in Florida. So, but anyway, it's better for baseball when Boston and New York mean something. It just is.
Absolutely. Because it's been lackluster the past couple seasons. Kind of lost its interest.
And then you look at the National League East. This is funny. So the Phillies are 6-3. We know they're really 5-4. The Braves are 4-6. We know they're really 5-5. But in the real standings, they're 2.5 games behind. You know, who sits in second place is the Mets, and they've only played 5 damn games at 2-3. The Mets fans have got to be chomping at the bit because their first series gets canceled because of the Nationals, and now they haven't been able to find a way to play. They're scheduled for a doubleheader today, by the way. Oh, and by the way, all the whining and crying by Marcus Stroman about how he's going to have to wait 5 days to pitch again. He's pitching the nightcap tonight.
Well, I guess it wasn't that bad, was it?
Yeah, he blew it all out of proportion. Shocking. I'm telling you that guy is a cancer. When he becomes a free agent, the Mets will not re-sign him. You can book that, and whoever signs him, buyer beware. That's all I got to say about that. He thinks he's Cy Young.
Where was he pre-Blue Jays? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I believe that that's where he
was. He Blue Jays forever? He came up through there.
That's where I remember him from, is the Blue Jays. Excuse me. I know he came up in the Blue. Now, know whether or not he was traded pre-Blue Jays, I don't know.
I didn't know if he had another stint with someone before he really. I mean, I remember him as a Blue Jay. I didn't know if he came somewhere into their organization beforehand that you were aware of.
Not unless it came via trade. I'm about to
Got
look
you.
it up just to double check, but I don't believe he was pre Blue Jays. Because he even when he was in Toronto, he was very up and down, and I always felt like he cared more about his persona than anything else. He was with the Blue Jays. It doesn't look like he was anywhere before that. Minor leagues. Okay, so he was drafted by the Jays overall, 22nd overall in the 2012 draft. So he's a little long in the tooth. He's 29. He'll be 30 here in a few weeks. He's 30 years old. He's only won 52 games. But he talks about himself like he's Cy Young. And I just think he's kind of he was a marker when they made the trade. It helped them, and everyone was looking forward to last year before obviously the shutdown and everything. But they were looking forward to it, and then Syndergaard got injured, so that kind of threw things off. They should be getting Syndergaard back at some point this year, they hope. Stroman's going to make it to free agency. And it'll be interesting to see who at 30 years old gives him real money.
Probably the Dodgers when they have to suspend Trevor Bauer. You interested in that game tonight? Rockies Dodgers, after all the Bauer doctoring hoopla running around. You tuning in tonight? You staying up late?
Man, I stayed up so damn late last night. Probably not. I stayed up till the end of that Braves game. That was what, 11:30-ish?
I fell asleep in the 10th. I mean, the commercial in between the ninth, bottom of the ninth, top of the 10th put me out. I woke up,
why
saw the score, cussed my TV, and went to bed.
Why 7:20 Eastern when the rest of the East Coast games are starting at 7:05 Eastern? Why the extra 15 minutes? What the hell? It's got to do something with, they believe people won't go because of Atlanta traffic or something. But most people getting off work around 5.
Hell, it's limited capacity. You don't even have to worry about that many people entering. The gates aren't even that backed up. What are you doing?
I don't get it. I guess they're trying to juice more money out of advertising on their pregame show, but it's annoying because how many people do you think, we've talked about this before, but how many people do you think actually made it through that game last night that weren't named us, right? I bet you a lot of people turned it off around the 8th inning. Like,
the 8th inning put people to bed. There's no doubt about that. Here's another blown save.
Right. Eddie George going to Tennessee State. We've been trying to talk about this for 2 days. I keep getting carried away. Eddie George going to Tennessee State. Do you think this is something he's setting up shop, or do you think he's trying to use this as a stepping stone? Because I'm curious about this, and with the Deion Sanders.
You know what stadium's about a block away, don't you? From Tennessee State. The other direction. You're correct. let me face it. In the right direction towards Shelby, there's a big
the
Titans Stadium. And
but he would have to do what? Don't you think he would have to do something other than put a successful program at Tennessee State to become a head coach at the Tennessee Titans? Or are you thinking as like an assistant
running back coach come in and help out, something start the career off? I could see this as a stepping stone to get to work his way into NFL coaching, but maybe not. But no, to your point with Deion and Eddie George now being in the two head coaches in the same conference, parents have been put on notice. You're about to have some studs walking in your living room trying to recruit your boys, and all these big Power Fives better secure their commitments, because Deion's already shown he'll bring anybody and everybody to Jackson State, and I got a feeling Eddie's going to have the same approach, and you're going to start seeing some of these transfers come here to TSU. I think it's exciting for the conference. I think it's just some exciting football it's going to be to watch. I didn't tune into the spring semester and see any of the Jacksonville State games. I don't know if you did or not, but
I didn't know how to get a hold of them. And look, if it was on the Plus or something, it was never reminded to me that it was on. So in other words, this entire spring situation where they played football, I could not find the games when I thought of it. And I never saw commercials for it. So I don't know who was televising it, if it was being televised. But let's say if it was on ESPN Plus, I never saw commercials for it. So if you don't give me commercials for it, I'm not going to remember it.
Yep,
it's not a part of my regular viewing. So I would have had to have been reminded. I would have even probably partaken in some, Ivy League football. But did they ever even play that? Or did they They probably shut that down, knowing the Ivy League. They kind of.
I don't have a clue. I've looked a couple times and I've been unsuccessful. Just when I was flipping through board, and I have not seen any either.
I never even saw playoffs.
I've seen replays, and that's it.
I've never even seen like playoffs. Like, remember, like when we'll say 2019 season, you would see the division. I always want to call it 1AA. The FBS, yeah, or I'm sorry, the FCS playoffs. I would normally see it on like Friday nights, Saturday mornings. Usually it was when the FBS wasn't playing, so it was in like mid-December. I didn't see that. The only football I have seen this entire spring was the FSU spring game on this past Saturday. I don't know when Tennessee's spring game was, but I look, that kid Milton from they came over from Central Florida. He looked phenomenal. That kid can that kid can throw a college. I don't have no idea if he has any NFL. He doesn't seem like he's very big.
Well, if Norvell screws up, we're going to portal him. We're going to transfer portal him because we've got his AD, we've got his head coach, we've got his offensive coordinator.
But he left his he left his head coach before Heupel ever left.
Yeah. Don't bring up that part of the thing. It sounded better when I thought we could steal him from you.
I don't know if he just didn't want to. I don't know if he had a riff with Heupel or if it was more the fact that he wanted to play at Florida State, right? So I never got that story. But Milton looks really good. It was weird to see an accurate passer at Florida State. I haven't seen that in years, man, in years. And he wasn't like just throwing in. He was dropping dimes. I mean, it was impressive. And they got some young receivers that looked really good. Outside of that, that's the only spring game or spring football I've seen. I want to see the Tennessee spring game. So if you see it, that's going to be televised, let a brother know, because I want to watch that because I'm curious to see what Heupel.
I don't even think they're advertising it. I mean, this is the first.
I think Auburn plays this weekend on. I think you have to look on the SEC and ACC networks. I think Auburn's spring game is this weekend, but I haven't seen. Normally, you're being flooded by the commercials of it, and it's like they're not wanting to. I don't know. I don't know if ESPN's afraid you'll watch that and not watch their terrible NBA coverage. I don't know what the reasoning is.
April 24th.
April 24th is Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. When we get closer, I'll let you know.
A week from Saturday, I think, if my math is right. Okay. Well.
But yeah, it's been completely silent up here around the Vols. Everybody's just waiting on the NCAA death sentence, and let's figure out how we're going to get through this. So Heupel's going to be surprising. I don't think anybody's anticipating, or nobody really seems excited about. I'm anticipating a fast-paced, up-tempo offense to come in here, something that Tennessee hasn't seen in forever. I mean, Butch Jones tried to install it his first year, and it somewhat worked, but it still was a makeshift system that kind of fit into the SEC. I think Heupel's going to full-blown open it up, and I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like, but we'll see.
How about this coming Friday, Football Friday, we do a focus on some of these spring games coming up, because we haven't really gotten into it. I was about to say with Tony on, but I forgot that the Gators don't have a spring game this year because they're using the University of Florida's facility for COVID vaccines. Oh man, you want to talk about Gators taking the high, the high perchy road on Twitter. Follow some Gator fans on Twitter, and they're all like, we're more worried about the safety and, the overall well-being of America while y'all in Tallahassee are playing football.
BS. You put Hernandez on a scholarship. Don't tell me you were worrying about the well-being and safety of human beings and Americans.
They couldn't go play it in a high school football field somewhere? What the hell? They couldn't. You know what it is.
The national champions couldn't loan you their facility in Orlando.
It's because It's because Dan Mullen's dirtier than soiled sheets, and they're trying to let some of the stories that came out about him over the last couple of months kind of go under the radar. You know, we don't need you going in and saying anything stupid at the spring game, so we're just not going to have a spring game. That can't be good for recruiting.
On Friday. I'm asking Tony.
Yeah, like I say, we dive into that right.
Let's dive right in and just get it, Tony.
Grind it in there.
Hope you're listening in the morning. Let's notice.
How's your spring game going? What's your walk off for the day, sir?
Oh man, everybody piss a Gator fan off today. Enjoy. Love you, Tony.
If you get
and Forbes.
If you get a chance to tweet out, you know,
and Temus, man, we're surrounded by them. We have a bad judge of characters.
I really want to go to the Gator spring game. When do tickets go on sale?
Wonder if he'll crank up the RV and we go down there and camp out with him.
By the way, I think I heard this correctly. I don't have time to look it up right now, but I think the Hurricanes are playing Bama to start the season this year. Oof.
That was stupid.
Oof. Yeah.
I must have a Mark Richt decision.
You and I were there. You and I were there when that was stupid. When we went to that game in Atlanta, and Florida State got their quarterback. They got a spleen split in half.
Well, hell, y'all should have been tied at the half. It was over after that.
Yeah. It was.
Y'all got screwed, and then the machine came out. And
that was the beginning of Jimbo Fisher leaving Florida State because Francois got hurt. And that was it. He checked out mentally. We were getting the crap kicked out of us like teams like Boston College and whatnot.
That was a rough weekend for both of us. That was the demise of both of our head coaches.
4th in Atlanta, Miami versus Bama. Ooh, man.
I ain't never been a Hurricane fan, but I think there's a first time for everything.
That's a dangerous way to start your season. But props to them. I'll give them props, man. Like you got their FSU plays Notre Dame. I think that game's going to be a weird Sunday game because it's like Labor Day weekend. And oh, by the way, we'll be up there that weekend. I don't know if I even talked to you about that, but we can talk about that off air.
Sweet. I'm on vacation that week before leading into Labor Day. That's the week kids are always out of school. So I'm sure we'll be around here somewhere. We ain't really put plans together for that week yet. So
yeah, we'll have to get together on that. All right, brother. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to wind down the show. See you mañana.
See you tomorrow.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Patriots star wide receiver Julian Edelman, who helped New England win 3 Super Bowl championships and was the MVP of Super Bowl 53, announced his retirement in a video posted on social media on Monday. The NFL Transaction Wire released Monday stated that Edelman had his contract terminated by the Patriots, but the roster move is expected to be a technicality as a part of his retirement. In a Twitter post that read, "Foxborough Forever," here's what Julian Edelman had to say.
Nothing in my career has ever come easy, and no surprise, this isn't going to be easy either. Now, I've always said, I'm going to go until the wheels come off. And they finally have fallen off. Due to an injury last year, I'll be making my official announcement of my retirement from football. It was a hard decision, but the right decision for me and my family. And I'm honored and so proud to be retiring a Patriot. There are a million people I have to thank. Mr. Kraft, the Kraft family. Learned so much from you guys on and off the field. Coach Belichick, giving me an opportunity. I always love you for that. My teammates have gone to war. We've lost some, we've won some. You guys will always be my brothers. To all my coaches that I played under, I appreciate all your insight, all your hard work, all your knowledge. It's the entire Patriots organization, from the meal ladies, the people that clean up after us, the people in the hallways, the training staff, the strength staff. We share so many awesome memories that I'll never forget. And of course, my family. You guys have always had my back. It's been the best 12 years of my life. It's a hell of a run. And I can't forget you, Patriot Nation. You guys have welcomed me and my family to a region we do not know, we didn't know. But now, I'm one of you. I'm gonna leave you guys with 2 words. Foxborough, forever.
There's a full slate of Major League Baseball today. Yankees and Blue Jays at 7:07. Tyon versus Ryu. The Rays host the Rangers. Ryan Yarbrough to the mound. And the Braves 7:20 against the Marlins. Pablo Lopez versus Max Fried. Cubs and Brewers do battle at 7:40. It's Hendricks versus Woodruff. And at 7:45, the Washington Nationals are at St. Louis. Strasburg versus Flaherty. Philly and Mets are at 4:10, and they conclude their doubleheader at 7:10. Aaron Nola versus Marcus Stroman. Trevor Bauer is on the mound tonight at 10:10 Eastern. Dodgers host the Rockies in Senzatella. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for more of the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and in all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact.
We got to start with a group selfie.
Excuse me, didn't Ellen do this like 3 years ago?
Hey, does Tay Diggs follow you on Twitter?
No, but Kraft Singles does.
Welcome back here. Good morning, CBS Sports Radio. As we've got a Wednesday morning that we're winding down here. Did want to go over the scores from last night. By the way, before I do that, I found some of the dates for your spring games, ones that'll be televised. Alabama is this Saturday. So Crimson Tide fans, ESPN, 1 p.m. Eastern, Alabama. You can basically see an NFL scrimmage. Auburn, 2 o'clock this Saturday on SEC Network Plus. And I don't know if that just means it could be on the SEC Network if it's in your area, or if that means that something else is going on, the big SEC network. There could be like a big college baseball game, maybe Jack Leiter's pitching or something. But these games are going on this coming Saturday. All these this Saturday in the SEC network, ESPN Plus. Arkansas at 3 o'clock. Auburn, we just said at 2 o'clock. Of course, Bama at 1 o'clock on ESPN. And then Georgia is also at 2 o'clock this Saturday. And South Carolina is next week. So we skip past it. Mississippi State's playing this weekend at noon. LSU is playing this weekend at 1 p.m. Vanderbilt, if you're really desperate for some football action, Vanderbilt's going to have their spring game Saturday at noon. Says SEC Network, but I think by then it'll get pushed over to C-SPAN. Okay, in the Big Ten, see if there's any this weekend. There are no. Well, no, there's one. Ohio State's, but it doesn't say if it's being televised. I would think it would be on the Big Ten Network, but I don't see it updated yet, quite yet. Here is a weird one. Monday night, this coming Monday night, there is a Big Ten spring game, Illinois, on the Big Ten Network. I wonder if that date's correct, but they do have Monday, April 19th, so I guess it's correct. That is a weird one. I've never seen a spring game on a Monday night, so that's interesting. As far as the ACC this weekend, the Hurricanes, 11 a.m. on ACC Network. So you get your first look at that. You can look at the Hurricanes. You can look at the Alabama at essentially the same time, put them side by side and see what you think there. Pittsburgh is playing at 1 o'clock. That's on the ACC Network. So I guess these will be regional. And I think that's all you've got in the ACC for this weekend. We'll get into the full thing on Friday when Tony and Justin's here. We're going to rub salt in the wound of a Gator fan, right? It's interesting how many of them are not doing spring games. Duke, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Indiana, Michigan's not doing spring. Now that surprises the hell out of me because Harbaugh is so big into this stuff. That's got to be a Whitmer thing. And what I'm surprised he didn't take it down south. He's done things like this before. I'm surprised he didn't get on the horn with DeSantis. Can we play the Michigan spring game down in Florida? But Michigan's not going to have a spring game. Minnesota hasn't announced one. Northwestern hasn't announced one. Penn State and Purdue will not have one. The Big 12, Kansas State won't have one. I bet the Pac-12 is loaded with ones that won't. Yeah. Arizona State's not doing one. Actually, surprisingly, most of them are doing them in the Pac-12. That surprises me because as locked up as the left coast is, I would have thought they were essentially were. I guess they're doing them without fans. But anyways, we'll get more into that on Friday because, you had some pretty big spring games this weekend. Miami, Alabama, LSU, Auburn. A lot to talk about. Okay, let's go and get into what is happening in the world of sports as we get you caught up on the scoreboard for last night in case you missed some of these games that went on in things that weren't baseball related. Last night, the Blackhawks down the Blue Jackets 4-3. And the Blackhawks are hanging in there, trying to make a playoff run. We're going to look at the standings here in a second. Red Wings 3-1 winners over the Hurricanes. That's actually a hell of an upset. The Red Wings are terrible. They scored 3 goals in the third period. Maple Leafs drop one to the Canadiens. 4-2. Jets lose to the Senators 4-2. The Avs over the Coyotes. Or Coyotes. Which one do you normally say? I normally say Coyotes, but you'll hear people say Coyotes. This just sounds so weird. Because if it's a coyote, how is it coyotes? But you'll hear people say coyotes. It's a weird one. I've never heard someone call a singular coyote. Look out for the coyote out there in your backyard. It's always coyote. I think people that say coyotes are probably just wrong. The Golden Knights having a hell of a year, 4-2 winners over the Kings, and the Ducks blanked the Sharks 4-0. Blues Wild was postponed. I don't know if that was COVID or what. And in the NBA, you had some games go down last night. Grizz over the Bulls, 101-90. Blues Wild, that was the game that was postponed because of the rioting. Okay. Back to the NBA. Knicks, Lakers, 111-96 winners. The Knicks win. How about that? Look at those standings here in a second. We haven't really looked at those standings. And these two But the NHL and NBA, they're starting to wind down a little bit. Spurs over the Magic, 120-97. 76ers down the Mavs. Pelicans over the Kings. Brandon Ingram scored 34 points last night. Wizards, 125-121 winners at Utah. You don't expect to see that. Donovan Mitchell did have 42 points. How about Russell Westbrook, though? Listen to this triple-double. 25 points, 14 boards, and 14 assists. You see more rebounds from guards nowadays because people are clanking the three-point shot and it's rebounding much farther back. Usually you have to be a big guy to get a rebound. Now it's just like you got to be right place, right time. And the Suns continue their incredible year, 126-120 winners. Looking at the standings over in the kill that. Looking at the standings over in the NBA. So you've got the cut line. What is it? 9 and 10 are going to play 7 and 8. So right now, if you're in the Eastern Conference, you're looking at the cutoff line right now. It's the Bulls at the 10 seed with 22 wins. They're just above the Raptors and the Wizards. There are, what did we figure out the other day? There are 70 games that they're going to play. So most teams are sitting around 54. So you got 16 games left. And then in the West, this is interesting. The East, I don't find the East playoffs very interesting because they're all terrible. First of all, I can't believe that Memphis is hanging in there. The injuries that they've had, the Grizzlies are sitting at 8th. So that's phenomenal. But the San Antonio Spurs are at the 9 seed. The Golden State Warriors are at the 10 seed. If it ended right now, Golden State would be playing Dallas in the play-in rounds, Memphis versus the Spurs. That's a lot of fun. But on the outside looking in, just one game behind Golden State is the Pelicans. Now, I'll tell you what I would like to see, to be honest with you. I would like to see the Pelicans and the Warriors overtake the Spurs and get the Spurs the hell out of the playoffs. I don't want to see the Spurs. Popovich is kind of a jerk off, and I don't need to see the way he likes to pat himself on the back with his stupid interviews. So I don't need to see that in the postseason. And I think it would be fun if you got what would be really fun is if you got a situation where the Pelicans get into the playoffs, right? And if they were to get into the playoffs, I don't know if Ja Morant would be full bore. He is back and playing with Memphis. So it looks like he's playing a full slate right now. He's up to 36 minutes in last night's game. So Ja Morant versus the Pelicans and Zion Williamson would be a lot of fun. It'd be good for the NBA. The Spurs have nothing to really offer the NBA as far as appointment TV. Conversely, I know everybody's tired of seeing the Pacers and Celtics playing the playoffs, but if you could get the Pacers to slide down one slot and the Bulls to come up a slot, or just get the Knicks to overtake the Celtics, either way, I don't care. I would love to see a Bulls-Knicks playoff series. Remember those back in the day? Those were fun. Those were exciting. I would love to see that. Bulls-Knicks, Chicago versus New York. I mean, honestly, if I'm the Celtics, I'm trying to slide down to the 8th spot anyways, because the last thing you want to do is be positioned to play the Nets. the Nets are going to be a problem, y'all. They're going to be a big problem. Sixers are a lot more likely to get upset than the Nets. I don't think there's much of a chance that it's not the Nets versus the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. But the one team that nobody's talking about this year, the Atlanta Hawks are fourth in the Eastern Conference. I know we don't talk a lot of NBA here because they've pissed off everybody, but the playoffs are coming, and I enjoy NBA playoffs. I enjoy NHL playoffs. And since they're pushing all that other junk that they did last year aside, I think I can get back into the NBA playoffs. Depending if they pull their junk again, it won't take me long to get out of there. But if you look at the NHL and their standings right now, the top four in each are going to make it. So in the Central, it's essentially going to be a fight between the Blackhawks and the Predators. In the East, you've got a fight at the bottom with Boston and the Rangers. The Rangers, and the Flyers. They're all separated by 4 points. That's going to be a fun one to keep up with. They're not far from completing theirs. They're 13 games, most of them, about 13 games left in the season. You look in the North, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Toronto, they're all going to make it. I think Montreal's pretty safe too. But out West, that's where it gets a little hairy. Minnesota, Vegas, and Colorado should all make it. But you got St. Louis sitting there at 44 points. The Coyotes are only 43 points. So they're 1 point behind. And then San Jose Sharks, we all know that they get hot this time of year. They are only 4 points behind. So that should be a lot of fun. We might get into a debate that with Sean tomorrow. Little hockey talk. The Central, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Florida, I think they're all shoo-ins. They would have to absolutely implode at this point to not make the playoffs. And I think the NHL would rather have the Blackhawks in because television, right? But it would be an incredible story for the Predators to find their way into the NHL playoffs this year. All right. It's time to close up shop and get out of here. It's time to turn back time as tomorrow we got Sean with us. We got Justin with us. Should be a fun show. We will be doing we're going to do our mock draft. We got Detroit, the Giants, got the 49ers, Dallas. We'll get down to Jacksonville. We might even get all the way down to New England. We might knock about 7 or 8 picks out tomorrow. All right, turn back time, and we'll get the hell out of here. All right, on this date, 1926, 95 years ago. Wow. 38-year-old Senators hurler Walter Johnson, the big train, strikes out 12 Philadelphia A batters. Yes, they used to be in Philadelphia, back with the great Connie Mack. But the big train, this would be his second to last season. He would finish with the 15-16 record with the 3.63 ERA for the fourth place Senators. On this date 100 years ago, Warren Harding, an avid baseball fan, throws out the ceremonial first pitch. President Warren Harding throws out the first pitch in Griffith Stadium. Washington loses to the Red Sox 6-3. It's the first time in 6 opening days that the Senators have lost with the President of the United States throwing out the first pitch. It's the first time that had happened. Also on this date in 1954, Hank Aaron played his very first game with the Milwaukee Braves. All right, birthdays.
It's your birthday today. What does that mean?
Happy 38th birthday to one of my favorite players of all time that never played for my team, Hunter Pence. And I love the way that the fans would heckle him with the sides. I don't know if they I think that went by the wayside towards the end of his career. In the height of his career, opposing fans would heckle him with signs that he played along with it. It was incredible. 38 years old. Of course, Hunter Pence was a part of those Giants teams, those great Giants teams earlier in the decade. Wish him a happy birthday. Baron Davis is 42 years old. My God, he feels like he should be like 60 because he faded out of the NBA so quickly. Remember, he got busted with that gun, and then ever since, as soon as that happened, his career went to crap. Also, happy 51st birthday to ex-linebacker Eddie Robinson. Played for the Oilers / Titans and also played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Born in Louisiana. Dana Barros is 51 years old today. I remember him with the Celtics. Dana Barros is 54 years old. My God, it seems like yesterday that he was a bust. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Tomorrow we're gonna do a lot of our mock draft. I guess it is fantasy in some worlds. Sean will be with us. We'll have a lot of fun talking about. We're gonna get into the hockey. We're gonna do some hockey talk tomorrow. Haven't done it in a while. We're getting really close to the season coming up, so we'll let Justin and him bat it around, and we got some other things in store later on this week. We got Joey with us on Thursday, and of course Matt and Tony with us on Friday when we're going to get into the college football spring games. Have a great day. Pretty good day of baseball. It's a full slate of baseball. Hopefully that game gets played over in Minnesota today, and the Red Sox Twins should be a lot of fun. If so, that's a 2:00 start. Gives you something to watch. You should be able to see it. I believe it's on MLB Network. If not, you can always catch it on MLB.tv. We'll see you. Have a great rest of your day.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette.